Welcome back to another episode of Don't Let It Stew. He is definitely my favorite husband on the Housewives, maybe because I'm biased because he is Irish, but we've all grown to love him. We have. Welcome to Don't Let It Stew, Paulie Connell. I call him Knacker, and we'll get into that why I call him that in a minute. But welcome, Paulie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm honored.
You're honored. Oh my God, thank you.
Yeah.
For a quick question, just a bit of so people can get to know you a bit, and I'm sure they have like on the show as well. But when did you move to America? I was kind of thinking about this because I was wondering, like, did I move around the same time as you?
25 years ago.
25 years ago. So when I pretty much moved to Dublin in 2000.
That's why I moved here. When I heard you moved to Dublin, I was like, I'm out.
I mean, I swear, we probably would have run into each other in Dublin. I swear to God, if I was, because I mean, I was at every bar there in my first year in college. That's really funny. What made you move to America?
Listen, it was a good move for me at the time. And listen, it's America. Why wouldn't you want to move here? Why did you want to move to America? Like, it's the same thing.
It was just like a dream for mine. Right. It was just like, I did my 4 years in Dublin. I went to culinary school. I got my BA in culinary arts. And I just was like, I got to get out of here. I just knew there was bigger things for me. Yeah. And I always wanted to do television. And in Ireland, it's such a small market and it's so hard to break into.
Sure.
Yeah. And so I got a job up in Napa Valley. And that was kind of like the kind of my door in, And so worked up there for 2 years, then moved to LA, like my final destination. I'm like, okay, hit the ground running and basically do what I'm doing, chef on TV, write cookbooks, do a podcast. And and it's all kind of worked out. And it's same with you. It's like, it's been very successful for you too.
You end up where you belong.
Exactly. You end up where you belong. Do you listen to that, everybody?
Yeah.
It's just
very smart woman told me that.
Irish wisdom right here. Okay, so I always start off each show with what's stewing this week. Like, what do you want to get off your chest? What pisses you off? We always have those things. I mean, me and you definitely do. This week, I was at the gym and I was upstairs. I was doing legs or something like that. And there was a guy on a phone call. And this gym, it's like a nicer gym and it's like new and stuff like that. And it's, it's not crazy busy, and it's echoey, and it's like there probably was maybe 5-6 people in the room with the machines, right?
Yeah.
This guy was on a phone call, no fucking joking, not joking you, for 25 minutes, loudly talking.
It's obnoxious.
It's I just was like, and he just was not he wasn't didn't have a nice voice. It was just really just loud, and everybody was looking at him. But then can you go over and say it to them? Hey, can you keep it down? Or and here's the thing, in that gym, they have these little private rooms where you can go in with beautiful little seats that you can sit down and do your little private calls if you want, little work rooms.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What do you mean? It is.
I know. What would you have done? Would you have said anything to him?
I would have pointed to the sign that says, yo, that's a little room over there. Why don't you? And that's the conversation's good and I want to earwig on it and be like, is he talking about something bad that happened? Maybe he's talking about breakup, marriage.
No, that would have been interesting.
Yes, if it's no good, I'd be like, yo, bro, but if it's good, I tell him, carry on. I'd work out around them.
You'd work, yeah. I should have just went back downstairs. Do you have anything that kind of just day-to-day life that kind of annoys you? Traveling? You just came back from the Bahamas, didn't you recently?
St. Martin.
St. Martin,
yeah. That annoys me that I'm back here from St. Martin. Well, because we got there and that hurricane had just passed through, so the weather wasn't great.
Okay.
So we came back and then we said, listen, we'll go away again. But of course, with Dolores' schedule, doesn't always permit that we can just bounce out somewhere. So
how long did you stay there for?
7 days. She actually was a birthday gift. One of the birthday. I mean, this girl spoiled me for my birthday.
Yeah, I mean, she's amazing. So since you briefly talked about her there, what's your favorite thing about her?
Just her. She's just, listen, man. She's just solid. Yeah. She's solid.
She is. She's solid. She is. I mean, she's so warm when you see her.
And she keeps me in check.
And that's, we need that.
We do. As Irish, as young Irishmen, we need to be kept in check.
We do. I don't mind it. I love kind of being put in check too. It's kind of fun, and it's kind of fun to play with, like someone that puts you in check. You don't want someone you can just walk all over.
Correct.
Like, you know?
Yeah.
That's amazing. So St. Martin. Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's like,
Beautiful.
I went to Mexico, I went to Cabo last Christmas with my friend, and I've never been on a vacation like a beach sunny vacation, because I would always go home to Ireland, you know, to see my dad or my mom or whatever when she was alive. And like, I got to actually do a vacation. I was there for 9 days at like the Ritz-Carlton in Cabo. I'm telling you, I just felt like every day I had like 9 days left. It went on so long.
Yeah. It can take a lot. I think like a 5-6 day trip is long enough right now.
Yeah. But you do need that 5 or 6 days.
Oh yeah. Mini trips versus the big trip, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So I landed at Paulie's house last Thursday night. And I mean, and then it was just a shitstorm after that.
Yeah.
If anybody's listening to the podcast with Zach Peters, it went out today. I briefly talked a bit about it. But we actually have the man here himself, and who I was with, who took me in the Rolls Royce, and we went, we took a little trip down to Target. Yeah. And what did you make me do in Target? Like, say it like from your point of view.
Well, I made you work.
No, you literally, like, which I don't mind, but it's like, I was like going there, and, you know, Paulie's like he's on phone calls. He's like doing his work and stuff like that. And I'm like, Paulie, do we need this? Sure, just get it there if you need it.
Well, listen, when I seen you looking at the stuff, I can't remember if it's in my house or if Dolores is taking it and bringing it to her other house. Because someone's making stuff, and I'm like, yo, where's the kettle gone? Oh, it's in my house. Yeah. So I didn't want you to be standing over the stove and have no tools for what you want to do, right? Because then I'm gonna look like an asshole. No, I got. So now, see, now you explain it to me. At the time, I'm like, this fucker is bringing me here just to stock his kitchen. Well, actually, it did work out too. It's like, but now you can have a dinner party anytime with any chef. You know, like, what is this for? Oh, now I have one of these. Now one of these. Sure, look at the wall there. Is there anything you can get there? You can just get it yourself. Like, I was like, what? I was like, okay. So anyway, 20 minutes later, everyone, we're loading up the trunk with $1,500 worth of Target goods. It's great. Just a small trip. Yeah. So I was brilliant. That was so funny though. I was just like, where's he gone? He's like, oh, I was on a phone call there. I was like, okay, grand. But we go to the grocery store then. I have it all mapped out. Like, we're sitting, like, I get in the morning, and Dolores is sitting there having her coffee. Paulie appears. It's like, oh, let's talk about the menu then tonight. Like, how did that go? Like that, like, you wanted one thing, I wanted another thing, and Dolores wanted another thing. Listen, I mean, it was a big menu, but it changed. It changed a lot in the space of 10 minutes. I think we put everything on the menu that you could possibly get, and it was taken off like that. And I feel like I managed to fall back onto the menu. Like, it did. We would go to the store. Like, I remember it being, oh, you know, Eric, he needs a piece of salmon. Do you know what, Stuart? Just get a side of salmon. I'm like, well, that feeds 8 people. Yeah, it's grand. I'm like, okay. So I get that. Paulie's like, oh, my sons love chicken. Can we do some chicken? I'm like, okay, grand. I said, we'll do some steaks, which was always on the menu. Steak was always on the menu. And then I saw hanger steaks. Oh, sure, we'll get a few sirloins. Okay. Oh, what about that tomahawk? I'm like, Jesus Christ. I was like, I'm going to be at the grill all night. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to make the sides. And then Paulie sees stuffed mushrooms, and then he sees crab cakes, and I'm risotto. No, she got the risotto balls. You just kept seeing things and picking them up and being like, this would be great on the menu. I'm like, we didn't discuss that. But it worked out. It worked out. It was a fucking mess. It was a fucking mess. It was a mess. I was like, it's 3:00 and I have to make all this food. I don't have enough time. I seen you walking in from the grill with the steaks, and I'm like, why is he sweating so much? I just like, and then like up and down the stairs, because you know everybody on the show, you see Paulie's house is like a 3 or 4 story townhouse. Are you elevators, by the way? Because you have an elevator. I know, but then it's like, Dolores, close the door. We can't work the elevator. You're like her. So I was like, I can't risk the elevator. And then everybody was in the kitchen or in the upstairs kind of area having drinks, and I would have to pass them with the steaks. It was just like, you know, whatever. Yeah. But that girl that you hired was amazing. She's amazing. She was incredible. Stu, I came down the next morning, and I was like creeping around towards the kitchen to see mess that was going to be left.
Yeah.
I mean, it was probably the cleanest I've seen the kitchen in a while. She left.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
It really, really was.
Kudos to Brittany.
I think one of the things we learned, Paulie and I learned from going to the grocery store that day was, don't go to the grocery store when you're starving.
Yes.
Just don't. Because he was like, Paulie just saw shiny things. And this market was actually amazing. It did have beautiful food. But he was picking up, there was one point where I was like, you're taking the piss. Like, he picks up tuna. He's like, this would be lovely. I'm like, tuna. We're not doing tuna. Put it back. That was like, I was just like, we need to get out. Stuffed peppers. I'm like, no, it's so gross. They're so 90s. Stuffed peppers are so 90s.
Yeah.
I remember like making those in like home economics. That's really funny.
I actually did home economics in school too. I loved it.
Because it was an easy A.
It was always cool.
Yeah. And it was fun. You learned actually things that you should actually learn, like about life. But anyway, we did the dinner. It was a lot of fun. And then we cut to the next day. And then Paulie was sweet enough to get me an Uber car to the Hamptons to Jill Zarin's, which he was at the party as well on the Saturday. I told the story with Zach, but if anybody didn't listen to that podcast, you can listen now. Paulie got me an Uber. I got in the car, really sweet lady. We hit it off. We were chatting about like relationships, love life. She was having issues with her husband, all this kind of stuff. I really took to her. Then I turned on RHONJ County Housewives. I watched that for an hour. Then we hit the Hamptons and we're about an hour away from my destination. And she's like, do you drive? And I was like, yeah. I said, I do. She's like, would you mind driving a bit? I was like, what? I was like, you know what? I love you. I think you're really sweet. I said, fine. She pulled over the side of the road. I drove the last hour of the Uber car ride to my destination.
That was so crazy. I was laughing. When I seen that message, I'm looking at Dolores. I'm like, this is crazy. Crazy.
Like, I know. And then I gave her like I gave her $100 tip at the end. And then you probably tipped her fat too.
I tipped her really good.
Look, she deserved it. 3 hours up there, 3 hours back.
Maybe that's her play. Maybe that's how she does it.
I know. Because I was saying to Zach, I was like, does she not know she has to go 3 hours when she takes the ride? She does.
Maybe she didn't. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, I would think so. How did you find the luncheon? Did you have fun?
Yes, it was fun. It was very nice. A lot of nice people there. It was very cool. Very cool.
You had a few drinks, had a few bevies. I didn't get drunk there. I think the drinks were like really, really small.
Yeah, that's why you had to drink more than 12.
Like, I think I had like definitely 7 to 9 drinks. Didn't even feel a buzz.
Yeah.
They're like, that's when you have a problem.
The night before was good, actually, at the house. We had a lot of drinks, so it was good.
Oh, yeah. But you opened like beautiful bottles of wine. It was like,
it was good.
That is fun. And all your guests were super fun too. They were like really nice people.
People.
Like just
good jive. Like, everybody was jiving well. It was cool. Like fun.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It really was. All right. So I wanted to ask you as well, because I just love relationships and love life and all that shit. When I want to hear the story, because when you met Dolores, it was at like an Apple store. Will you tell me that story? I never asked you this story before. No. It's kind of crazy. We kind of bypassed all that stuff and just became like friendly. Yeah. Not pointing out anything. Yeah. So I have a friend of mine who designed my townhouse, and she's a friend of Dolores's. And one day she texts me. She goes like, "Hey, I got someone I'd like to introduce you to." I'm like, "Cool." And she said who it was, and I'm like, "Okay, who is that?" And then she sends me a photograph, but I couldn't really make it out. I was like, wasn't a great photograph. Yeah. So she was connecting us via messaging me, messaging her, talking. So we then eventually, Dolores reached out to me very nicely on Instagram. And she's like, "Oh, so you're Paulie, that you're who Vanessa's speaking about." She goes, "I really thought that you were gay." I was like, "Oh." She's like, "I see pictures of your mom, and I just kind of think that, you look like, oh, he looks like a nice guy. Has to be gay." I'm like, "Well, thanks." Definitely not gay, but thanks. I think you're wrong, but thanks. I think you're wrong. I don't think. The third time. Yeah. So, ironically, I go to get my phone fixed, and she says she's getting her phone fixed. So I'm in the Apple store,
I'm like looking around, and in walks this. I see all this hair, Lululemon everywhere, tight.
Yeah.
I'm like, that can't be this fucking chick. There's no way.
No, wait there. It's just like coincidence that she's there at the same time as you.
Well, you know, there's a fucking huge Rolls Royce parked beside the door, and she knows what I drive. So I have a feeling that maybe she knew I was in there, but she said she didn't. So we'll go with that. But fine. I don't know. Something's winking at me the other way. But anyway, she comes in. I'm like, that's got to be this fucking chick, Dolores. There's no way. She walked straight up to me, stone cold. Hey, what's up, Paulie? I'm like, so I had a mask on because we're still coming out of COVID. So
wow, okay.
So I was trying to pull the mask and be before. So I get a little embarrassed because she's a celebrity, right? She's like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? I was intimidated because it's okay to talk by text, but once we spoke, we hit it off, man, and we set a Panera Bread for like 4 hours just talking about.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and she was like, she's just. It was cool, but I don't know I don't know her from the show because I didn't watch the show. So I got to know her as who she was, and then I started looking at the show, and I'm like, oh, this chick is the same. She's the same person. She doesn't change. She's got no agenda here. She is who she is, and so that's good. That was very cool for me as well.
Has she ever called you a scumbag?
All the time.
I love that because I text
you that in a loving way. Like,
yeah, of course.
I always say, see you next Tuesday. She says,
yes.
Yeah, but you can't say that.
Welcome back, scumbag.
Yeah.
And that's if anybody has our Amy Phillips and our cookbook, Dolores has a recipe on it. Welcome back, scumbag scallops.
That was very
funny. She didn't actually know she had a recipe in that book. I brought her a book this time, and she's like, "Oh my god, that's hilarious."
You did not know. She was so impressed with that. She was so happy with that.
It's amazing. Which Jersey husband are you the closest to?
You know, that's the closest to, like, on the show or off the show? Which
I guess like off the show, real life. Yeah,
I would speak to Louis and I would speak to Bill Aiden a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, when I say a lot, considering I only know them from the show, I don't know them before. I don't know any of these guys from before the show. So like, I would speak to Louis and to Bill, and we would occasionally meet up for lunch and whatever like that. Nate we used to talk a lot. But he's busy. He's running a business and he's growing up very fast. Listen, I speak to Joey. Frank, I see him at family events because we're family now.
Frank seems really nice.
Frank's a cool dude. Frank's a cool dude. Listen, Frank understands from a perspective of like what, you know, he's just naturally cool and he gets it, but he likes to have fun, right? He's a fun guy.
Sure.
So the aspect of him, he's like, he likes to ball break, doesn't necessarily like to have his balls broken. And I'm a ball breaker. Sure. So once we figured that part out between us, there's no harm and no malice. We're cool. Yeah. He's a good guy. Obviously his girl, Brittany's a great girl.
Yeah. I met Louis at the event. I mean, he actually gave me a cigarette. We actually shared a cigarette, which was actually kind of funny. I was just dying for one. I was like, I don't know why, but he gave me one. Really, I found him really nice. And Teresa was lovely too to me.
Teresa's great.
So, yeah, she's great.
Listen, different folks are different folks too.
I mean, it is. I mean, I think we get along with everybody, though. You know what I mean? The Irish do.
That's
we do. We're just easy, whatever. Just come up to us. We'll start talking to you.
Yeah.
So over the time, I really want to know this because, you know, I'm interested in it too. Over the course of whatever, you've lost, how much weight have you lost?
Till today, it's 48 pounds.
Jesus, really?
Yeah. And it seems to all came from here.
Your face.
I mean, there was a lot going on there.
What?
I mean, listen, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm a handsome guy, but 40 pounds doesn't help.
40 pounds does not help. No, I mean, I lost 20, like in the last 8 months.
Yeah.
Which was a lot. I mean, it's kind of creeping back on me now again. I need to I ate so much like last weekend. It was insane.
Well, yeah. So I ate a lot.
It was tasty food. I mean, we had food for 40. I mean, Jesus.
45 people. That's right. Yeah.
We pretty much did. Last question before we go. You know, this show was like an appetizer. You're in and you're out. It's really just nice to do.
I like it.
What is your favorite part? Because I'd really like to know this. What's your favorite part of shooting Jersey Housewives when you're doing it? Do you think?
Honestly, because I can just be honest.
Yeah.
When everybody's together and they all get along, it just fucking jives. It's so much fun. It really goes. And to be honest, when everybody's around everybody, they actually normally just get along. There's never really any animosity, to be honest. So
yeah,
I love sitting across from Dolores and watching her work and how she works the whole, everything just natural to her, and see it not changing. But I've had some fun times with everybody filming,
Yeah.
That's being truthful. So everything's different because it's not, there's no narrative, nothing's scripted. So you just don't know what it's going to be.
Were you at the party when Danielle clocked Jen?
I was.
Okay, were you? Is it just that like you're hanging out? Because I just imagine being there. Is it just like you're hanging out? You're like with the boys, whatever, having a drink and stuff, and all of a sudden you hear screaming.
So it was me, Danielle, and Dante were standing, or me, Nate, and Dante were standing like at the barbecue area, and we heard some commotion, which is typical, right? Of course. Your ass is fat, your nose is crooked, your nose is this, whatever. It's like typical, right?
Yeah.
So we heard that, but I kind of looked up when I was like, I just nudged Nate. I'm like, you might want to go up there because have you met Danielle?
No, I haven't, and I really like her, and I like Rachel as well.
You'll understand Danielle because she's very typical to like an Irish girl. Like she has that straight up, no BS about her.
Yeah.
And I said to Nate, I'm like, dude, you might just want to walk up there and just emphasizing that whole area because because it was getting like high pitched, and then there were two of them were like facing each other, and then Nate walked off just to kind of scale what was going on, and then it just went down. I was like. But I obviously my concern was just getting up to get Dolores to take it easy because if she opens a can of whip ass, is going to be a problem. Yeah.
I mean, she gave her a good clatter.
Yeah.
That's what we say. That's what we say in Ireland when you hit somebody.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but listen, look, I don't know.
They bring it on each other. They just go back and forth. It's amazing. I mean,
it is, and it's hard when you know both sides. Both.
Yeah.
When you see them, and it's you're injected into this situation. It's kind of difficult, but nobody was hurt, which is the main part.
This is the main part.
A couple of feelings.
All right, Paulie. Thank you so much for coming on. Don't let it stew.
Don't let it stew. By the way, them toppings you gave me, the bagel,
oh yeah, the bagel seasoning.
Everybody's using them.
Everyone loves the bagel. I mean, New York is the best place to love, or Jersey.
Avocado toast, sprinkle them on it. Yum and dum.
It is the best. Yeah. It is the best. Anybody wants that bagel seasoning, go to chefstewart.com. You can order it there. I will personally ship it out. Don't go to Amazon yet. We haven't figured that out yet. Thanks a million, Paulie. And I'll put, Paulie, what's your Instagram handle for anybody to follow you?
Oh, fuck. What is it?
Isn't it Paulie G. Connell or something?
I don't even know. What's a handle? Is that like where I open the door?
What there? I'll
you got it?
So it's Paul _G _ Connell, CONNELL.
Or, as I've been called, Dolores' bitch by.
Yeah. All right. I'll talk to you later, Paulie. Thanks so much. And
take care.
Bye.